All right, guys, we got this passenger side head off. A couple things to note. Here you can see all 20 locations for the head studs. So there's 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, and then 2 right there. On the back side of the passenger side, there is a fuel line that hooks up. It is going to be right here, and it is kind of hard to get in there. It's a size 15. Another thing to note, when you pulling this out, you can't get these 2 back head studs off without taking the air box off due to clearance, but that's fine. So what I did, I just pulled them out and kind of rubber banded them up so they had enough clearance, and then as I pulled the head off, I then pulled them out, and that worked fine for me. We did not take the air box off, we didn't take the turbo off. On this side, we left the heads on there, manifold, I mean. But yeah, you can see the state of this gasket is just not very good, and that's why we're doing this job. So I'm gonna get started on the other side, remove all them head studs, and get to it. All right, guys, I got this driver's side off now. Same thing, there's 20 head studs, all the same order as the other side. There's a couple fuel lines to watch out for. There's one here, and then you got one here on top and near the middle, one here on the back side, and then one mounts up with a bracket right here. As you can look at this gasket, it's done for. This truck had over 300,000 miles, so it's about time for head gaskets. We had to leave the manifold on due to some rounded out bolts, but it pulled out no problem leaving that one on. Get those removed and get these heads sent off to the shop. As you can see, no heads.
All right, guys, so we're back at it. We sent the heads to the machine shop, got them back. There's one of them right there. There's the passenger side. We scraped our heads down, got them nice and clean on this side, cleaned out the cylinders that had oil and gunk in them. There was this thick, we're gonna assume they used head gasket sealer, because there was this thick, nasty layer all over both of these heads. Took forever to get them cleaned up, but these things are looking nice and shiny now. And so we went to go put one in, and you know, it was going pretty fine and dandy, and then what'd we do, Lance?
Well, I don't know. We didn't do anything.
We really didn't do anything wrong. We were following the torque specs, but you know what? That doesn't matter. It does not care, because we have broke a head bolt off. We got them all in. The instructions say for a 7.3, you torque them down to 45 foot-pounds in a certain sequence, and then you torque them down to 90 foot-pounds in the same sequence, and then you switch sequences and torque them down to 125, and that is the final torque number. Look it up, I'm not lying, but yeah, it didn't care, because we got our trusty ratchet snap-on torque wrench, and we broke one anyways. And then we used brand new head bolts, which you're supposed to do anyways. By the way, you need to get new head bolts because they're torque to yields, which means they stretch. So you cannot reuse them. You have to get new ones, which is what we did. We oiled them up so they wouldn't get hung on any of the threads or the top of the block here. You're supposed to oil the top of them so when they hit the block, they don't catch it. And we did that, and they broke anyways. So we're gonna figure out if we can get it out or re-tap it or something. We'll see. You having fun, Lance?
Yeah, we about to start a little more fun.
Yeah, we're about to get into some fun. This thing's a booger, but we might go ahead and put this one in. We might just keep testing it and see, and we might just keep cranking them and see if they all want to break while we're at it. Who knows? We're gonna find out. All right, guys, we got it out. He got it out. Houdini got it out magically. I didn't think it was going to be possible, but he got it out.
I used a flathead screwdriver.
He used a flathead screwdriver, and it came right out. It did help us that, where's the bolt? Yeah. Look at the way it broke. It was not even. We've got a really big lip there to hook a screwdriver on, so we did get lucky with that one. Now we're gonna try not to repeat our mistakes, but first we gotta figure out what the frick happened. So, yeah, we gotta figure out what happened so we can not do it again. And if we ever get it figured out, we will let you know. We might try to get this other head in first just so they can be in, because that's the not fun part, because they're 110 pounds a piece. And you gotta put them in just right. So, you ready?
Alright guys, when you're doing a job like this, you gotta make sure the bolt holes don't have water in them.
Yeah, like breaking head bolts.
So we figured out.
That's what happened. We've got water / oil water / water oil in our bolt holes, so we're clearing these out. He stuck this air hose in here and straight up like water came flying back out. So
that'll throw your torque specs way out of proportion. You'll break bolts.
Yeah, you'll break bolts and you'll screw pooches. And so we've got to take these off now, clear them out, and then retorque them. Hopefully not break anymore, because that better be the issue, because if it's not, then I don't know what it is. But that's the issue, because you should have seen the water flying out of this thing. You have any more to do over there?
I cleared them all out.
Yeah, these front ones though, it was just whoosh, just water flying out when he put that air hose in there. And then he's going and sticking a screwdriver with a microfiber cloth on it inside there, drying it out. So we should be good to go for this side now, and then we're gonna have to redo this side. And hopefully we can, maybe one of these days we'll get to put these things back on, get this truck put back together. Yeah. It's been a couple days. All right, head is in. This one was way harder. It was a struggle, but we got it in. So the sequence, besides there being water in the holes, we're gonna say that we did some research. Our torque specs were probably a little bit too tight, so we're gonna top our torque specs out at 95. So we're gonna go in our little sequence we've got, we're going 45, 85, then 95, all the way around the finish. And it'll work or it won't. It'll work or it freaking won't. It's gonna work and it's gonna like it. But we're finally getting somewhere, so it's time to start buttoning her up, Buttercup. Cooked. Yo, so we got these, we got all the injectors and the rods and everything in. And so you're just gonna wanna do it. You gotta do it in a certain order. You gotta do injector, and to get those in, just put a little oil around the seal, put them in, tap them with a mallet, and then when it stops, it'll make a certain noise, and it'll totally change noises when it's done. So you'll know when it's in there. And then you bolt your brackets down. You wanna put this little thing in. Don't even know what it does, but it does go in there. And you put that in, then rocker arms, and then you mess with all your wires and stuff. Put your wire back on your glow plugs. Torque to 20 foot-pounds for these rocker arm bolts.
Those are torqued to like 4.
These are like, yeah, these are nothing. These are basically like you turn it, it's tight, you're good. Because that's how they came apart. I remember you barely put any force on it, and because it's just holding it there. That's just a little plate that it holds. So we got that going. We got that on both sides, and after this, we're just buttoning stuff back up. It's pretty straightforward from there. We put our valve covers back on. We got our gaskets here, you can see. Our sensors go through that. Yeah, we got our gasket on. We got our valve covers ready to go back on. I'm putting exhaust manifold back on that other side. Lance is putting these back fuel lines back on. And yeah, it's just buttoning stuff up after that, same way you took it apart, but in, the reverse order. So you're not tripping over yourself, getting in your own way. How hard you make it is on you from that point. And then hopefully you did a good job and you're done. Hopefully we did a good job. Hopefully we did a good job, and we might be done. So we'll either drive this thing out of here or we'll push it out of here. We'll see.
What's up, guys? It's 3 in the morning. Just put back together, allegedly. We got all except the air box because we do not have the technology to prime the fuel injectors. So this is our priming of fuel injectors right here. We're gonna start our fluid until the fuel takes over because we had to depressurize the fuel. So I'll just put this hose on to where it's easy access. You just, Lance is gonna feed it. I'm gonna crank it. We're gonna see what happens. It's gonna go great. Forgot to plug in a couple things. This doohickey. And we went ahead and put our air box on for the mass airflow sensor, just trying to help it out, rule out any issues. It's not building RPM very well. Like we can run it without starter fluid now. It was barely building RPM, like with my foot on the floor, and then it was like not building RPM. Like if I let it drop and then put my foot back on the gas, it would stay where I dropped it to. And so I let it die so we can check fluids real quick and check things, which I'm glad we did because we found a thing.
Always a thing.
There's always a thing here or there you forget. We're gonna plug this up and go for round 2, 3, something. Yeah, we also left an exhaust bolt out, so we have an exhaust leak. Not like this thing has an EGR on it or anything, so that really doesn't matter too much, except for the fact that it's taken a little bit. Well, we got her going. She is idling now, all on her own. Beautiful. It's 4 in the morning, but we finally got her going. Boy, doesn't that sound good. So we're gonna put the hood on and we're gonna call it a night. That is a wrap, ladies and gentlemen. And we will see you guys on the next one. Ta-ta.